The studio lights were warm, almost blinding. But the atmosphere on set felt unusually tense. It was supposed to be another lively, feel-good episode of the Clarkson show. The audience was buzzing, music played, and everything looked perfectly normal on the surface. Backstage, however, things were different. Ricki Lake stood near the dressing room mirror, adjusting her outfit. She had done hundreds of shows in her career. She knew the rhythm, the energy, the expectations, but today felt off. A producer approached her with a forced smile. "Just keep it light," he said. "We want a fun conversation." Ricki raised an eyebrow. "Since when do you need to remind me of that?" He chuckled nervously. "Just go with the flow." That phrase stuck with her. On the other side of the set, Clarkson was reviewing her cue cards. Normally relaxed and warm, she seemed more focused than usual. "Everything okay?" a crew member asked. Kelly nodded but didn't look up. "Yeah, just want this one to go right." The show began with its usual energy. Kelly walked out to applause, smiling brightly, greeting the audience with her signature charm. The band played, the crowd cheered, and for a moment, everything felt exactly as it should. Then Ricki was introduced. She walked out confidently, smiling, waving to the audience. The two women hugged, polite, warm, but something underneath felt restrained. They sat down. At first, the conversation flowed easily. They talked about Ricki's career, her legacy, even joked about the evolution of daytime television. "You were kind of a pioneer," Kelly said. "You opened doors for so many shows, including this one." Ricki smiled. "Well, I'm glad something good came out of all that chaos." The audience laughed. But then the tone shifted. Kelly glanced at her card. "So, you've been very vocal recently about how modern talk shows handle sensitive topics," she said carefully. Ricki leaned back slightly. "I have." Kelly nodded. "You've said some shows focus more on drama than authenticity." A small pause. Ricki looked straight at her. "Not some shows," she said calmly. "Most of them." The audience reacted with a mix of laughter and tension. Kelly smiled, but it didn't quite reach her eyes. "Including mine?" Ricki didn't hesitate. "Sometimes yes." The air changed instantly. The band went quiet. The audience leaned in. Kelly shifted in her seat. "That's interesting, because we try really hard to keep things genuine here." "I'm sure you do," Ricki replied. "But trying and succeeding aren't always the same." A few gasps from the audience. Kelly's expression tightened just a bit. "Can you give an example?" Ricki paused. This was the moment. "You invite guests to share personal stories," she said slowly. "But sometimes it feels like those stories are guided, shaped to fit a narrative." Kelly leaned forward. "Are you saying we manipulate people's experiences?" "I'm saying," Ricki replied, her voice steady, "that television has always walked a line between truth and performance. And lately, that line feels blurry." The room fell silent. Kelly took a breath. "I think that's a pretty serious claim, and I think it's an important conversation," Ricki said. The tension was now impossible to ignore. Kelly looked at her cue card again, then set it down. "Okay," she said. "Let's talk about it." What followed wasn't scripted. Kelly defended her show, its intentions, its values, the care they put into every segment. Ricki challenged that, questioning whether good intentions were enough in an industry driven by ratings. Their voices never rose into shouting, but the intensity grew with every exchange. At one point, Kelly said, "It's easy to criticize from the outside." Ricki responded immediately, "I've been on the inside longer than most." The audience didn't know whether to clap or stay quiet. Backstage, producers exchanged worried glances. "Do we cut?" one whispered. "Not yet," another replied. "Let it play." Back on stage, Kelly's patience was starting to wear thin. "We give people a platform," she said. "We help them tell their stories. And sometimes," Ricki said, "you turn those stories into segments." That line hit hard. Kelly blinked, clearly taken aback. "That's not fair." "Maybe not," Ricki said. "But it's honest." A long silence followed. Then Kelly leaned back, exhaling. "You know what?" she said quietly. "I didn't expect this to go this way." Ricki nodded. "Neither did I." For a moment it seemed like things might calm down. But then Kelly added, "It feels like you came here with an agenda." And that was it. Ricki's expression changed. An agenda? She repeated. Yes, Kelly said. To criticize, to make a point, instead of having a conversation. Ricki slowly stood up. No, she said firmly. I came here to be real. The audience murmured. Kelly looked up at her. So are we not being real? Ricki shook her head slightly. Not in this moment. The silence was deafening. Then, without another word, Ricki stepped away from her chair. Thank you, she said briefly. To the audience, not to Kelly. And she walked off the stage. The crowd gasped. Cameras hesitated, unsure whether to follow. Kelly remained seated, stunned. For a few seconds, no one moved. Then the band awkwardly started playing, trying to fill the space. Backstage, Ricki moved quickly, her expression a mix of frustration and disappointment. A producer rushed after her. Ricki, wait, can we talk about this? She didn't stop. There's nothing to talk about, she said. You wanted something light, that wasn't real. She reached her dressing room and closed the door. Inside, the silence hit her. She sat down, staring at her reflection. Had she gone too far? Maybe, but she also knew she hadn't lied. Back on stage, Kelly finally spoke. Well, she said, forcing a small smile. That was unexpected. A few nervous laughs from the audience. She took a breath. But conversations like that, they matter too. Her voice softened. Even when they're uncomfortable. The show continued, but the energy had changed. Something real had broken through the polished surface. Later, clips of the moment spread everywhere. Some people supported Ricki, praising her honesty. Others defended Kelly, admiring her composure under pressure. But one thing was certain. It wasn't just another episode anymore. It was a moment people wouldn't forget. And somewhere behind the scenes, both women were left thinking the same thing. Sometimes the truth doesn't fit neatly into a television segment.